Ah yes, my fellow spectators, gladiators, and warriors. It is that time again. We are weighing in at 187.5 pounds. This is going to be the bottom of my cut before we start a bulk. Welcome to another episode of Awakening Hercules.
Ooh, just got back from a workout. I wanted to show you one of the meals I've been eating. So I've been trying to up the amount of unprocessed food. So I guess you could still count tofu and tempeh as processed, but like big sweet potato right here, bunch of broccoli, green beans, mushrooms, all sauteed with just a little under a tablespoon of soy sauce. The tempeh and tofu is tossed in just a little bit of orange sauce from Panda Express. Super damn good. And there's my potatoes for the carbs. Checking out some of the designs that are coming in for the Vegan Kings. Super stoked, super hungry, about to record a podcast, putting this down in my belly. Yes, I just finished a workout. I'm gonna critique my physique a little bit. I am a little bit pumped, so it's a little bit skewed, the results here, but I'm basically just gonna look at my physique and tell you guys what the parts are that I need to bring up. So when I look in the mirror, I keep in mind, like I said, hit the back, so I just got a back pump. When I look at myself, I see upper chest is lacking a bit. Well, my lower chest is like still relatively thick. See, upper chest is a little bit smaller. My traps, while they're still like big, you know, I still have thickness and stuff in them. I feel like they've lost a lot of size during my cut, which is like generally how it always is. And then the last place that I'd say I want to increase is my triceps, because I feel like my biceps come out a lot more than my triceps. And finally, the last part that I want to improve is my rear delt here. I feel like my shoulder is pretty nice and well rounded, so I feel like the back could come up. And that, of course, happened because I took shoulders out for the last year due to my shoulder injury. So something I utilize every once in a while, and I've told you guys about this before, but like a long time ago, is every once in a while I'll have a workout where I just purposely use way lighter weights and I really focus on the negative portion of the lift. Meaning like on a curl or something like that, you know, whatever pace you want to go up with, but when you come to the top of the curl, you then try to drop it as slow as you can, maybe a 3, 4, 5 count. Basically the whole purpose is just using lighter weights and dropping it slower, or using a slower tempo on the negative, causes you, just personally, I feel like I can connect better with my muscle. I feel like I get a better pump, and I feel like just like I have a better mind-muscle connection with that muscle, which then translates over to days in the, you know, my next sessions or whatever. I feel like I have an easier pathway to find that connection, and then I can use that connection with heavier weights, if that made any sense. Should I move slightly to be more aesthetic here? Or maybe here? Or maybe here? There we go, perfect angle.
Wow, it's just focus full.
I want to give you guys an update on the shoulder. You guys have heard for the last about a year, I haven't been able to do any sort of like pressing movements. I've taken all lateral, actually all deltoid workout, period, just to give my shoulders a complete rest and hopefully allow them to recover. Now for the last 2 to 3 weeks, I have been implementing them back in because we're post-show. So what I have been doing is, for now I've been doing dumbbell chest press, because dumbbells were one of the things that would cause impingement, but it's kind of like the least of the worst exercises. So I've been able to actually do 40-pound dumbbells, this time for 5 sets of 12 reps, where last week I got it for like 2, maybe 3 sets of like 10, 12 reps, and then I started feeling a little bit of pain in my shoulders. So that's actually improvement right there, and I'm really stoked about that. Then after I hit my whole chest day and implemented a little bit of chest movements that, you know, were a little hard on my shoulder, I then actually hit some direct shoulders. So last week I did some upright rows. A lot of you guys were pointing out that that's actually a pretty good exercise to cause impingement. So this week I'm actually doing some lateral raises with some 10-pound plates. So I'm going very light. And I want to show you guys the one tip that I'm really focusing on for all of these movements. Any movement that uses the shoulder, and especially the ones that I'm nervous about, I'm making sure that I'm depressing my shoulder blades, my scapula, by pushing them down. A lot of people will tighten their shoulder blades up when they think of compressing their or depressing their scapula, but when you press them downwards and keep them down, that's how you can build a solid base to push off of, and it's gonna decrease the instability in your shoulder and hopefully decrease the chances of you getting injured so freaking much. All right guys, it is time to eat. I wanna show you guys a meal that I've been making a lot, and for some reason, Well, you know, I get it. A lot of people have been asking me, how do I make my tofu? Apparently it's a, you know, it's a relatively difficult topic for a lot of people because it's just like a big block, you know, until you know what you're doing, it's just a block of nothingness. Basically, like what I like to do is I just like to cut it into half. So now I have 2 large chunks. And then there's so many different things, but the thing I've been doing lately is having steaks, is what I like to call them. So you're just cutting these blocks into thirds now. And this is the result. So then you have these kind of things. So they're like kind of large steaks that you can season really well, and they get a lot of surface area, so they cook really well. And they're a little bit thick because I like the gooey texture on the inside. So cut them thinner if you don't like the gooey texture of tofu. And then all you're gonna do is you can either spray or oil or nothing at all, whatever you wanna do your frying pan, get it ready though, and get it nice and hot. And then you're just gonna drop these on there and you're just going to saute them. Super simple until they're golden brown on each side. Or a little bit less if you don't like it that much, or if you want them more burnt, then you can burn them. And then on the side over here, we have another frying pan working, and this is the other half of the meal that I've been having over and over and over. It's just a ton of veggies. So right now it's broccoli, onions, a little bit of spinach here, and some mushrooms here. And I've been just rotating what vegetables it is. But basically, just a big veggie stir fry and some tofu. I'm gonna show you guys what this whole meal looks like right now. There you have it, my friends. That is what we're looking like. Got all the veggies on the side. I did use a little bit of sauce in the tofu at the end, so once you've browned it to the correct texture that you like, just throw on a tablespoon to 3 tablespoons of whatever sauce. I'm using orange sauce by Panda Express, and let it caramelize. That's the trick with tofu, is letting some sort of sauce caramelize on it, and it's so delicious. Fwah! So this is like a really whole food meal that I've been going over and over and over and over and over with. Maybe you guys should try it. I think you would really like it. Ah, my friends, so that brings us to the end of this episode and to the end of this cut. You like how I just transitioned that voice like that? Comment about it. No, so this is the end of the cut, essentially this little mini cut that I was doing. I have now ended at 188 about in weight, and I feel like my physique looks pretty good. You know, I'm starting from a relatively, you know, pretty lean amount of body fat. So I feel like I'm gonna be able to put on a lot of size while retaining my leanness all the way up to about 205 to 210 pounds. And I feel like from that point on, you're gonna see a much more like soft or like fluffier version of myself, which is totally fine, but we aren't gonna get there for a really long time. I'm now embarking on bulking, so then I'm planning on making this bulk at least a year long, if not a little bit longer, and because of its length, I'm going to try to do it very slowly. So I'm going to reintroduce calories very slowly back into my diet, meaning that my maintenance is somewhere around 3,200 calories right now. I'm going to be eating 3,200 calories for this first week, and then the next week I'll be adding in 50 or 100 calories to the diet and seeing how much weight I'm putting on. I'm gonna be aiming for somewhere around a quarter pound to 0.75 pounds, 3/4 pounds per week. And now that's not necessarily gonna stay accurate. I'm sure some weeks I'll just spike up because of sodium, and then some weeks I'll drop down or whatever. But we're gonna try to keep the weight gain as slow as possible, just to keep it as lean as possible. This all falls in line perfectly with how life is going right now, because it is picking up. It is so busy. You could probably hear it in my voice in a couple of these scenes. I've been very, very stressed out lately. I've been overworking myself a little bit, and it's definitely taking a little bit of a toll on my mental state. And in addition to, you know, being in a deficit or trying to lose fat, you're already sort of irritable in the first place. Your mental state's not in the best place ever. So it's nice to be able to put a little bit of calories back in and take that stressful factor out of my life while being able to, focus a little bit more on the work that I want to do, while hopefully it causes me a little bit less stress because I'm bulking again. So that's the plan, guys. I hope it goes really well. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to structure my bulking yet, whether I'm gonna do Hercules episodes or if I'm just going to straight show you guys the progression in vlogs. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm gonna think about it. I want you guys to let me know what you think I should do in the comments below, because of course this is definitely about you guys and me. You know, I wanna know what you guys wanna see, so please let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you guys joining this series all the way from Awakening Hercules to Revealing Hercules to this mini version of Hercules, and it means the world that you guys support me, and hopefully I make some progression by the next time you see me in another episode of Awakening Hercules.